All right, now we're going to be going over part B of the hashing question, which is this. If a hash map contains two or more items with equal keys, how might this have happened? Give one reason. I'm actually going to go ahead and say that there are two reasons here for why this is the case. And in order to do that, let's actually draw out a hash map that has two equal objects as keys, and then we can go about from there. So let's say that the object we're working with is an object wrapped integer, which means that you have an object where an instance variable of the object is an integer. And let's say for here, we can make this 0. And for this, we can make this 1 or 1. And we know that and we can have two sort of variables from before that point to each. So for example, A will point to the 0 object and B will point to the 1 object. Now there is a way to actually make these two objects equal. If we are assuming that the way that they are equal is whether the numbers within each object are equal. And in this case, you have two objects, 0 and 1. And what we can do is actually mutate one of the objects' number so that they become equal to another number. So for example, if we can mutate A so that the number here is not 0, but rather 1. And when you do that, it will look something like this. And now you have two equal objects since the two numbers in here are equal. And so that's mutate after put. That's the first answer. Now for the second answer, let's consider the fact that we don't even insert these first. What we have here is the following. Okay. Let's say we are inserting two equal objects into the list. What's going to happen is the following. For this one, it's really important you assume the following. Hash code is random. And if a hash code is random, that means that there is a chance that you are allowed to insert two objects. They would just be in two different buckets. So it would look something like this. So if you were to insert A, and let's say the hash code for this specific object is 0, and we're going by indices here, what we can do is add 1 to this object, to the chain starting from 0, and this works. But now let's say for B, you then get another random hash code, and that will then return 1 as a hash code. What then happens is that it goes to that appropriate index, which in this case is here. And then you know that B will still point to 1, and then it points right here. And so this is another case when it would not be equal. And the best way to write out this answer is not the fact that the hash code is random, but rather hash code is non-deterministic. And what that means is that, as you can see with those two objects, you would think that because they're equal, they would have the same hash code, but they don't. So that's why this will be considered a non-deterministic hash code, and is therefore another reason why you would see two objects as equal keys in a hash map.